Hello, everybody. It's Dave Neal, stand-up comic and host of Bachelor Nation News. Happy hump day to you all out there. We've got Katie Thurston doing a Q&A on her Instagram, was asked if she would go on Paradise, and she said there's enough leads going already. So who are the leads that are going to Paradise? Could it be Michelle Young, Rachel Recchia? We're going to speculate. We've got a few different content creators weighing in on their opinions, and it's that time, baby. They're leaving for Paradise in the next week or two. That's right. Charity season is wrapped up, starts airing in about a month, and then it's going to roll right into that summertime series, The Paradise. All right, follow me on Instagram if you want to see what Paradise looks like on my channel, at DNeils, whatever that means, you'll have to find out. Patreon.com/Dave Neal for behind-the-scenes content. I'll tell you this, on today's Patreon, I'm going to tell you which Bachelor alumni have responded to my request to do Driving with Dave and which haven't. Some have responded with very vague reasons why they can't do it just yet, and my belief is that's because they're going on Paradise. I'll tell you who it was. I'll tell you exactly who responded on today's Patreon, patreon.com/Dave Neal, if you want that behind-the-scenes tea. And this afternoon, Bachelor Rush Hour, the hit podcast. Our numbers have never been better. You guys have been here all off season, so thank you guys so much for listening to the afternoon podcast. All right, so here's the initial clip. Oh, I've got the wrong display pulled up. Give me a second here. We're going to get to the clip right here. So here's the initial clip where she says there are enough leads going to Paradise. We'll get to that in a second, but let's go through the about 10 or so slides that Katie posted. You know, this is a great way for Bachelor Instagram alumni to get engagement by doing
There's no more
Q&A. Excuse me about that audio. So the question was crushing on anyone. She said a crush is just a lack of information. Crushing on plenty. And on the background there we have some. Sam on the right. She was a night one person who I believe left Clayton's season. I think she might be dating someone, Spencer maybe, over there in San Diego. Next question, tell me you and Austin are together and you're happily in love keeping it a secret. As we know, Austin is a stand-up comedian we did a stand-up show with in San Diego, and Katie's response was, life is a movie, and in this plot, we are very good friends. Yeah, that does look like a rom-com scene right there. And then the next one, when is the last time you talked to Circle Nick? That's Nick from The Circle. She said Sunday. They were, of course, spotted canoodling on New Year's. Positive negatives of being semi-famous now. Positive, being able to give back more financial comfort, flexibility on life. Negative, figuring out who are genuine friendships, relationships. Sometimes it's lonely, inconsistent, and chaotic. Yeah, I have to imagine there's a lot of people that want something from you and you've got such a large following. I know with my mediocrely small following, there's always somebody who's got something that they want you to do for them. And I always try, for supporters of mine, I always try to give them birthday shout outs. I've never charged once for people if they want a birthday shout out or things like that. But when you're at Katie's size, you know, people want you to do things and be places, and you just have to learn to say no. I actually discussed this on the next episode of Driving with Dave, which drops on Friday with Jess Ambrose, and we actually talked about the idea of setting boundaries and that Katie actually does a good job of being able to say no to things. But, you know, it must hurt on the inside when you want to help everybody out, but you got to protect your own mental health as well. Comedy show dates. The next question, comedy show dates. She said San Diego, July 2nd, and that's going to be a roast of Katie Thurston. She's doing a roast. There will be comedians and Bachelor alumni there to, I guess, not just make fun of her, but make fun of each other. Boy, wouldn't that be nice to be on that show? Get your tickets now if you're going to be in that area. If you can describe your mood with the song, what would it be? And her song was...
What's my definition of success?
I don't know. Okay. Are you going to Bachelor in Paradise? And this is where she says there are enough leads going already. So we'll get to the speculation of which leads that is in a second. Other questions. What's the latest on the TV pilot? Oh, yeah, that's right. She's writing a pilot. The subscribers know a little more about this project, but due to the current writer's strike, it is on pause. What questions are you avoiding answering? Questions about Blake, John, and Greg, she says. Yep, she gets a lot of those. Did you ever feel like you won't ever find the one? Because that's how it's feeling for me right now. She said, I'd rather be heartbroken over and over than settle on the wrong person. Love fully and don't put too much pressure on the one. Do you think you'll ever have kids? I try not to think about it as it's not where I'm currently at in life, but my niece sure does make my heart melt. And yeah, you never know with kids, right? It's a weird question to ask too. Are you talking to anyone right now? Has anyone caught your eye? Here's her response.
Be your friend, though.
I'd like to be your friend too. We'll last a week.
What was that?
She said when she starts sharing her dating stories with you all, it will only last a week. Yeah, that's how it goes sometimes. Here's our good friend Leah from the Positively Uncensored podcast, and here's who she thinks will be going to paradise.
I have somewhat of a list down of names that I've heard that are allegedly invited to paradise, TBD who we will actually see on screen, but let's get into it. Getting up close and personal for a second. We've got Jordan V, Nate Mitchell, Nate O, Johnny, Jacob, Avin, Clayton, Tyler Norris, Meatball, whose real name is James. On to the women.
First of all, I think Tyler Norris would be great. Of course, he was kind of like a hero. Everyone loved Tyler. He did nothing wrong. He was just a nice guy from Jersey, right? So he would be interesting. Johnny, of course, coming off of his heartbreak from last season would be big. Nate with a Y would be huge. Nate, not just physically, he's a tall man, but it would be great. And Jordan, I think Jordan V would be great. He's a good-looking race car driver. Remember him? He was fantastic. So lots of wreckage from Rekia's season there.
Christina Mandrell, Rachel Reikia, so probably Michelle, I would assume. Let me make my head smaller. Davia, Kylie, Kat, Sonia, Genevieve.
All right, so out of those people right there, there's 7 of them. 3 of them I have been in contact with or have reached out to about doing Driving with Dave. I will discuss which of those are going to be or want to do Driving with Dave and which may be waiting till after Paradise. So that information will be on today's Patreon, patreon.com/Dave Neal, 10 a.m.
These are the names that I have heard thus far. I'm not sure who will actually be there. This is just who I've heard is invited. I'm hoping that we see a few more people from the last season of The Bachelorette, but I'm just waiting to hear more, and I'll keep you all in the loop.
Yeah, and you know, what's interesting is we are watching Paradise work out for some people. Thomas is literally... And by the way, sneak peek, he may be doing Driving with Dave very shortly, but he met Becca on the show. I mean, they're having a child, so it can work out. You know, it can work out. Here is the stipulations Katie would need. This was a clip from my show, Driving with Dave, episode 3. If you haven't watched it, go check it out. It's a nice long half-hour conversation. But here are the stipulations Katie would need to show up on the beach.
The dog, he's distracting me.
No worries.
Paradise, I would not do it. Maybe if they paid me maybe like $25,000. I don't think they would.
Total or per week?
No, total. I mean, it's a really short show.
By the way, $25,000 might sound like a lot to you and I, but for talent to be on the beach that drives the traffic to a multi-million-dollar franchise, 25 grand would be nothing for them. They should be opening their wallets. They should have a standard set. If you were a lead from the show, you can get X amount if you want to come back. If you, and again, who those leads might be, Pilot Pete, he's for sure a strong option to go back on the show. Why? Well, what does he have to lose? He's still single. He's got a career, so it's just a couple of weeks off to continue to boost the Instagram. Like, there's really no downside to it.
I'm being a little reasonable.
They've paid people. Becca Kufrin probably got a pretty penny to go on.
You think? I mean, I think
so. Yeah.
I do think someone told me the number.
If I told you this. If I told you that you could potentially meet the love of your life on Paradise, would you go back to it? Because Becca did. I mean, they're having a boy.
I know that is true. She is like a pretty big success story, huh?
You got a better chance on Paradise.
For what? Love?
You do. You have
versus real life.
I'll tell you what. No, versus the Bachelorette.
Oh,
but
I do agree.
You've got on Bachelor in Paradise. There are multiple options. People have to double down. It's not all or nothing. So it gives you a little bit more of a chance to canoodle with a few others, and you can feel out of, I'm jealous. That means I must like this person.
Here's the thing, though. Look at Blake Horstman. He went to a Netflix reality show, and he met the love of his life. So I don't think the Bachelor franchise is for me anymore. Reality TV, I think that is another discussion.
Okay. I think I believe Katie when she says this, but I think it's also good hardball negotiation. go back on the show. You might get a new Instagram follower. You might have people that didn't like you that now do like you. I don't see there being too much harm. Now, you could have a situation like Brandon and Piper where they had the great unfollowing, which, you could argue was the juice worth the squeeze there? Were there crimes they committed, on the beach as bad as, losing that big following? But also, like, you get the following can be taken away. That's how it works. That's what happens. The quicker they build it, the quicker it can crumble. Katie's got her following. She's already lost hundreds of thousands of followers, as you do as a lead. You get the followers, and then everyone that was there for Blake Horseman or Greg, they leave, and then it's you just get stuck with your ride or dies. But it's a chance to get an audience that might be new. I mean, her season was during the pandemic. It's been a couple years now. You might find new audience when you go on Bachelor in Paradise, which might lead to new opportunities, which is exactly what Becca Kufrin thought. She said, I'd go there, I'll eat some chocolate-covered strawberries, I'll have a quesadilla or two, and I'll enjoy the beach. And because of that detachment, which detachment is so big in life, whether it's at a job interview or dating or whatever, being detached from the results can really lead to your truest, most authentic self. And that's when the magic can happen. Now, doing the show The Bachelor or Bachelorette, you've got so much pressure on you to find the one, and that forcefulness sometimes doesn't work. Obviously, we've seen the statistics. So I think if she did go on the show, Bachelor in Paradise, it wouldn't be that bad. It wouldn't be too much hurt. I'm sure if she wanted to go on, they would let her on, even though she's obviously had a falling out with production. But if you do go on, then you have to re-sign whatever deals you have in NDAs. So she'd get stuck back into that rigmarole. Let me know what you guys think. My guess is, just like Leah said, that it's going to be Michelle Young and Rachel Recchia, and my third pick for a former lead would be Pilot Pete. I'd love to know what you guys think. More content coming your way. We'll have the Patreon, and again, don't forget the afternoon podcast, Bachelor Rush Hour. We'll have unique content every afternoon. Bye now.